If you've been trying to learn AI over the past few months, there is a lie that's being sold to beginners right now that is just wasting an enormous amount of your time. And almost every AI creator on this app or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube Shorts is kind of selling it to you, right? And I believe the wild part is most of them even believe it themselves. In this video, I'm going to be basically talking about the biggest lie being sold to AI beginners right now, what the lie is, why it sounds so convincing, and what is actually true. So let us break it down, what the lie actually is, why it sounds so convincing, and what is actually true instead. Because once you see it, the way you approach AI sort of changes immediately, right? And you stop spending months on stuff that was just never really going to get you anywhere. And that's basically what it is. So the lie that's being sold right now, and I'm sure you've seen this across any social channels that you use if you are in the whole AI space, is, find the right prompts, having the right tools, about shortcuts, and it's basically a way to get views and a way to grab your attention and trying to convince you that there is a magic prompt or there is a secret shortcut or there is a magic tool that can sort of make you money. And the result is you just spend 6 months of collecting all of these videos and saving these videos or even building out a library, but you're not actually making real progress. And I know this sounds like you because you've clicked on this video, and I'm just going to do my best to make sure that I give you guys all the information that you need so that after you watch this video, you can actually go out and do something useful with AI that's going to directly impact you, your life, and whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Right? And the truth here is, which I'm going to go more into depth a little later in this video, is the clarity of thinking built through reps. Okay. Now, what the lie actually is, right? And why almost the entire AI content ecosystem is built on top of it. Now, the lie comes in slightly different flavors depending on who's selling it. Okay. But the core is always the same. And here it is. Quote unquote, the secret to winning AI is finding the right prompts, the right tools, and the right shortcuts. And that's pretty much it. That's the whole thing. And almost the entire AI content system is sort of built on top of it. You have seen the videos, you have seen the hooks, and you've probably even saved some of them. Okay. And in the wild, this is what these lies sort of look like, right? Or misdirections, you could say. Now, the content type is, the magic prompt. What it sort of looked like is steal my 10,000 pound prompt. But what this actually does is it gives you the artifact of someone else's thinking without the thinking itself. So the goal for these $10,000 prompts might not really match your goal, and it will just give you garbage output. The second content type is the prompt packed. So 50 prompts that will change your life. And what it actually does to you, you'd either create a Notion page or a notes page or just a library filled with all of these videos, and you will just never use them again, or you'll probably use them once and forget about it. The third one is the new tool drop, for example, right? And this looks sort of like this just dropped and it changes everything. And ideally what this does to you is it keeps your attention on acquisition instead of depth, so you never really master anything. And this all is so familiar because I've seen it all over my feed, and I'm sure you've seen it as well. Okay, you've got the copy paste method, you've got the missing secret, all of it. Now, the implicit message here is whatever you are missing is somewhere out there, and if you just find the right prompt or tool, you will unlock the results. And this is what keeps you coming back for the next one and the next one and the next one, right? Now, the reason why this lie is useful for people selling it, right, is it just keeps you coming back. It helps them with views, it gets them virality, it gets them followers, it basically gives them authority or sort of builds this, gray area trust in social media within the industry, right? And there's always going to be a next prompt or a next tool or a next hack, and the content calendar sort of never runs dry because the audience never really gets what they need from any individual piece, right? And this whole model depends on you believing the answer is one specific piece of content away. It's really not, right? So here the content economics here is, here is a magic prompt, quote unquote, is a way easier video to make than here is how to develop the underlying judgment that makes any prompt work. Now, these are the type of videos that I record, and I don't nearly get half as much of the views that people who do here is a magic prompt get. And again, it basically comes down to what it is that you're trying to help people with, right? My goal is to just make sure that you guys have a true understanding and you have all the value and information you need to have in order to succeed in this AI space, right? The one gets views, like I've said, and the other one really does not. Big example over here. So the ecosystem keeps tilting towards shortcut content and you basically keep consuming it, right? Now, the reason why this lie sort of sounds so convincing is, I would say it's because it's not really 100% wrong, right? There are better prompts than worse prompts. There are tools that fit certain jobs better than others. So when somebody shows you a prompt that genuinely produces a better output than what you would have written yourself, your brain sort of subconsciously makes a very reasonable but wrong conclusion, okay? The thing that made the difference was the prompt. So you start collecting prompts, you build swipe files, you bookmark threads, and so on. It's just a vicious cycle that a lot of people get into, especially those starting out, beginners, maybe someone like yourself. And you sort of convince yourself that progress in AI looks like accumulating more and more of these shortcuts until you have enough of them to really start winning, right? And every creator sort of reinforces this and you keep consuming it. And somehow, and I'm sure maybe this is you now 6 months later, or you're just starting on that 6 month cycle, is you're not actually any better at AI, right? Like I said, you just have a Notion page or a notes app, a notes file, or a Instagram save just full of prompts or tools or shortcuts that you've probably used once, you don't like the results, or things that you're just never ever going to use because you forgot about them, okay? Now the brain's mistake and what is actually happening here, right? So what your brain sort of concludes is the prompt made a difference, but what is actually happening is the clear thinking behind the prompt made the difference. The prompt was just the output of that thinking, right? The second example here is I need to collect better prompts, or I need to have better prompts. And what is actually happening is you need to build the clarity that lets you write any prompt on the spot. The third one is their prompts work, I should copy it. Sure, but what is actually happening is their prompts worked because it reflected their specific context, their goals, their outcomes, and yours is completely different, okay? So these are just sort of small examples, or a few examples of how these AI content creators sort of gets you to make the wrong decisions by convincing you that it is the right thing, right? So the copy problem here is when you copy someone else's prompt, you are getting the artifact of their thinking and not the thinking itself, right? The second your situation differs from theirs even slightly, the prompt stops working. You have no idea why, because you never built the underlying understanding, okay? Now, what is actually true? I need you guys to take very, very strong notes in this. This document, again, as always, is going to be in the description below for you guys to use, refer, and come back to. But however, just make notes yourself. And the truth is actually very less exciting than the lie, right? And it's a bit underwhelming, and maybe it's something that you might not even want to hear, right? And it's the main reason why no one sort of tries to convince you or sells it to you or tells you about. Now, what they sort of sell you is, the secret is finding the right prompts, tools, and hacks, collect enough of them, and you will eventually win and make money, blah, 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 blah. But what is actually true is the thing that makes someone good at AI is the ability to think clearly about what they actually want, right? And that is the most important skill. That is the whole skill that you need when navigating any AI tool out there, because everything else is just downstream of that. Right? And that's it. That's just the whole thing. I know it's super simple and it might be just underwhelming. Again, there is no secret here, right? It's just about building a skill over a prolonged period of time, be it weeks, months, days. It just depends on how quick you can build that skill, right? And the reason somebody else's prompt produces a better output, and that's probably what they're showing you, is that the output is just so great, is not because the prompt is magic. It's because somebody who knew exactly how to think clearly about a goal wrote that prompt. People who are actually good at AI cannot show you their secret because there is no secret, okay? They sit down for 10 seconds, minutes, hours, depending on how complicated or how big this sort of project is, about what they want. They type it out in plain English or whatever language it is, look at what comes back, and then adjust it. There's a lot of back and forth that goes on here, right? And sometimes it takes even months to get perfect outputs from these prompts, or it's not just about simple question and answers, right? It could be workflows, it could be coding, it could be script writing, research. It does not matter. It all is the same fundamentals, which is building a specific skill, right? And that's exactly the entire skill. It takes about 30 seconds and 0 swipe files, but it is built on top of months of reps where they learned how to think clearly about what they wanted and had, I would say, effective communication with the AI tool, be it Claude or ChatGPT, right? Now, once you spend weeks, hours, or even months sort of going back and forth with these AI tools for multiple goals, you sort of develop a very strong understanding, i.e. a very important skill and a non-transferable, replaceable skill that 90% of people, I believe, don't spend the time to actually develop. Is you will get the prompts or the outputs or the shortcut or the secret magic that you've been looking for by just doing it yourself, right? Now, what real AI skill actually looks like? Now think, which is very important, right? 10 seconds, what do I actually want? Again, 10 seconds is just an example. It really depends on what your goal is. Write, plain English, no framework needed, just start. Then look at what came back. Is this right? Am I happy with it? What do I need to change? That's where the back and forth happens. And then you have adjust, is what to change and why. So when you're changing something, ask yourself, why am I not happy with this? Or why do I want to change this? Is it changing my goal? Is it changing the way I think? Is it changing the way I approach this conversation? Again, you are building a very important skill here, right? And then lastly, you repeat. So you build the rep, you build the taste, you build the skill, and you believe a very deep understanding on how to actually communicate with these AI tools, right? So swipe files versus taste, the real difference. Let me just put this down here so it's easier for you guys. Yep. Now here is exactly how the two approaches play out in practice. So the situation is, let's say a new task comes up. Now the swipe file approach, which is i.e. what the AI content creators out there who do specifically short form or trying to sell you the secret magic is, search for a relevant saved prompt, okay? Now the taste approach, which is after you are trying to, or after you've built a skill of thinking, is think for 30 seconds about what you actually need, right? The second example here is the prompt does not work. Now the swipe file approach is search for a different prompt or just give up, right? Most cases, that's how it is. The taste approach is adjust the language, understand why it did not work. Again, you are building a skill. It's not going to be magic. It's not going to be easy. The third example, a new AI tool releases. The swipe file approach is sign up, add it to your stack, try it once, forget about it. The third is ask, does this change how I think about my goal? 9 out of 10 times it's no. You're just never going to use that AI tool, and then you just automatically stick to the tool you're using and just get better at using it and thinking with it, right? So just here, these are just some examples that I've put out here to just show you the difference between saving a prompt that someone else has tried to approach or sell to you, that as compared to you actually thinking and navigating it yourself. And you might be thinking, oh, but I've used it. Why is everyone doing it? And the reason why nobody sells the truth is because it's just boring, right? I'm making a 20-minute, 15-minute video explaining to you that all you need to do is actually just build the skill with AI. But who wants to hear that? Right? It's only the people who are actually serious about genuinely building something with AI that's meaningful, that can have a direct impact in their life, be it financial, the way they work, maybe hours saved, will actually go in and see more in-depth videos about how to actually use AI rather than find a magic prompt which really does not exist and use it, and then they just don't get the results, and then they think that AI is really not that great, right? And the truth also is that it's really bad for business for most AI creators, because there's no course to sell at the end of it. There is no $97 or pound, prompt vault, or there's no ultimate AI toolkit that they can sell you at the end of it. And it is just you slowly building the judgment to think clearly about what you want. That's the goal here, right? And that is not something anyone can sell you. You have to build it. You have to build the skill, and it could take weeks, days, or even months. But once you've built that skill, using any AI tool out there is just going to be extremely easy, because it is a very highly transferable skill in this industry, right? So what the skill is actually worth. Your taste, which is your ability to think clearly about what you want and recognize good output when you see it, right? Really important. And again, it travels with you across every tool, model, or even update. The swipe file does not. It ages, but your skill, your taste will compound over and over again. So what do you actually do, right? Now, the next move that builds the real skill is starting today. Now, here's the shift, right? The next time you're about to watch a video about a magic prompt or buy a prompt pack or save a swipe file, blah, 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 stop. Instead, take whatever task you wanted that prompt for and try and write your own version of it, right? Just put yourself to practice with these tools, right? Simple English, it does not have to be complicated. Just think about it, think what you are expecting, think about your goal, think about the outcome, and then begin writing, right? And describe it as if you were to, a smart friend or someone who has achieved that goal, or someone who you believe that has that skill to get the right answer back, right? And it will be worse at first, okay? Like, you will probably not get the best output. Again, it takes a few months, weeks, or days. And that's the whole point of it, is just notice where it starts getting worse. Notice where it's bad, notice where it doesn't work, and just build the same thing differently. If you've asked a question, i.e., what's 1 + 1, and you get, 3, understand what's wrong, right? Ask the question differently. So maybe if I had one of this and if I had one of that, now how much do I have in total? And if the answer comes back 2, you've now built a part of a skill that no one really understands, right? And that loop of going back and forth and going through the sort of bad answers and the bad outputs and the bad questions and the constant changing is what builds the actual skill, which again is just something that will never go out of fashion, you could say. Yeah. Now, the red loop, so how taste is actually built, right? So write your own in plain language, no swipe files. Get the output, see what came back, notice the gap, what is wrong, what is missing, just like I explained earlier. Understand why, not just what, but actual reason, and then write it again. And every single better rep you do is improving your skill and is also improving the output of the tool that you're using, right? So the taste building practice here, this is for you week by week. And here's what it actually looks like if you commit to it. So week 1, your prompts are vague, output feels pretty generic. And then what is happening is you are learning what clear actually means, and this is really good. Week 2 is you spot specific gaps, you see why it failed. You instantly start noticing, okay, I realize what I've done, this is why I got the bad output, I know exactly what to change. It just becomes second nature for you. And what is happening here is you are building taste, you know what good looks like. Week 3 is prompts are cleaner before you send them. And then the judgment is forming, fewer adjustments are needed. Month 2, solid first attempts, fast refinements, the skill is compounding, you are now basically ahead of 90% of people, and now you are a skilled AI user. Month 3 is you write what you need in seconds consistently, and this is the skill the lie never basically told you was available, or impossible rather, right? So the one move that changes everything is next time you're about to save a swipe file or watch a magic prompt video, stop. Again, take whatever task you wanted the prompt for, build your own version, and just follow the steps and build that skill, right? Now, the prompts here that I've given you are word stealing and how to actually use them. Again, prompts are not useless. The mistake is treating them as the destination rather than the reference point. So here's how to actually use a prompt you found online. Now, the prompt to steal, right? So the prompt reverse engineering method, okay? Again, this is not magic. There's a lot of refinement or a lot of back and forth that you might have to do, but it might help you as a good starting point if you are completely new or if you still don't have a clear understanding on how to begin. So an example prompt is, I found this prompt online, so paste the prompt. Instead of just copying it, help me understand it. 1. What specific problem is this prompt trying to solve? 2. What does the person who wrote this know that I might not? What context are they assuming? In brackets. 3. What parts of this prompt are specific to their situation versus transferable to mine? 4. How would I rewrite this for my specific situation? Then describe your situation here in detail. 5 is what would I need to change if my goal were slightly different? Example, describe a variation of it. And after this analysis, I should write my own version. Please draft that for me based on my situation, not a copy of the original. So again, this is not a magic prompt. This is basically a prompt to help you understand the difference between a magic prompt that's being sold to you and a prompt that you're trying to build yourself. Again, this is going to help you sort of think in the best way possible and develop your own skill. right? Again, I've pasted another prompt. This is a taste building session. Maybe if you are unsure what your goals are, your outcome is, or what your taste is, this could sort of give you a little bit of a starting point. Again, don't treat this as a one all be all prompt. You have to go in and sort of still do your thinking and put in the answers in the missing spaces here, right? So the honest summary that I would give you is, the lie that sells you is the secret is finding the right prompts, you know, the right tool is the unlock, or shortcuts is how you win, blah blah blah. It really isn't. The skill is, what's actually true is the skill is actually thinking clearly about what you want. The taste, your specific taste, is the unlock, right? And the progress is building underlying judgment. The answer is inside you, built through practice. And the 6 months of, maybe the bad 6 months or 3 months or weeks that you go through, is going to be years of just getting what you actually want, instead of saving millions and millions of not millions, thousands or hundreds of videos online that you're just never going to use, or that never really works, right? So the people winning at AI are not the ones with the biggest swipe file, or saving 100 different prompts from different AI content creators. They are the ones that built the underlying clarity to write any prompt they need to on the spot. So I hope this video was useful for you guys. If there's any questions or doubts or anything like that, you can always send me a message on Instagram or TikTok. My social links are in the link below. But if you enjoyed this type of content, if you find this useful, and if you've actually have more clarity now, then I would appreciate if you guys could, you know, just like, maybe leave a comment and subscribe to this channel. All I do is just try to make sure that I give you guys all the information that's needed, however that's needed, and just say it how it is without trying to sell you anything at the end. So with that being said, my name is Shannon, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.